Hello there, it's a very good morning to you, and my name is Isamat Pamela. It's time for us to get into Hot on the Hills. The Minister of State for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, has cautioned some private schools setting reopening dates prior to the government announcing a school calendar. Dr. Muyingo says that the Ministry of Education is yet to release a school reopening calendar, which should be adhered to by all institutions of learning. His announcement comes as the Ministry of Education issued a notice to the public stating that the academic year starts on January the 10th, 2022. This date has prompted a number of private schools, institutions of learning to issue their own calendar with reopening dates starting from January the 3rd, 2022. However, Muyingo says that schools should follow and implement the official calendar, which will soon be released by the Ministry of Education. He says that the detailed calendar will be issued by the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Education and will guide schools on activities that they will follow.
Of course, the detailed calendar will be issued by the Permanent Secretary, and this is the one that will give schools the detailed activities of what's going to happen. And we should follow that calendar to the letter because the Permanent Secretary is one responsible for issuing the academic calendar of the year, which I'm sure he will be issuing very soon.
Muyingo also states that parents, learners, and schools alike should use the remaining time to prepare for the reopening of schools.
We should use this period to prepare our children, to prepare our teachers, to prepare our schools to open for the new academic year that begins on the 10th of January 2022. It's important that schools are prepared, that there is a conducive environment to learning, that the children, when they go to the schools, they feel encouraged to go and study. The children, the parents, is very important that the parents start saving for what their children will need when the academic year starts.
Muyingo also says that the issue of vaccination of teachers, non-teaching staff and learners aged 18 years and above is still on the table, and he has also advised that elder persons be above 50 years should still go for vaccination because this is one of the prerequisites for the reopening of schools, as it was stated earlier. The government set a target to vaccinate 550,000 teachers and support staff, about 3,348,500 people, and including elderly people all alike. It also said to vaccinate 31,000 learners who are 18 years and above. But the government has targeted to vaccinate a total of 4.5 million people in order to reopen schools, and that happens next year once the calendar is issued. Meanwhile, police has warned the public against holding processions or large gatherings of more than 200 persons in places where by-elections will be held this December. The Electoral Commission has appointed dates for local government by-elections in several districts, including Kayunga district and 20 other sub-counties countrywide. The police mouthpiece, Fred Enanga, has asked candidates to follow the Electoral Commission guidelines and the Ministry of Health guidelines on standard operating procedures while holding these by-elections. Enanga says they have received information of candidates vying for LC5 chairpersons in the district of Kayunga and other places starting to gather border riders for illegal processions, which he says that will be dealt with.
They should ensure that they follow the EC guidelines of not holding public meetings of more than 200 people. As per the EC guidelines, processions, rallies, and assemblies are still prohibited. They are allowed to hold public meetings of not more than 200 people during these campaigns. So we are monitoring them because our duty as security agencies is to ensure that all candidates and other stakeholders are safe and secure during the policing of these campaigns. Any acts of defiance or use of violence will definitely be countered. We have deployed sufficient manpower to combat any unlawful acts and maintain rule of law during the campaigns. We are getting some feelers of candidates who continue to mobilize, especially border riders, and who are already holding legal processions and rallies, especially in Kayunga, and the head of the electoral and the political offences desk.
The categories of vacancies to be filled during these by-elections in the above districts will be district chairperson for Kayunga, chairperson sub-county level, as well as councillors at the district and sub-county levels, including councillors representing special interest groups. The by-election program has already commenced and will be happening this particular month of December. Meanwhile, Gideon Sanyo Ntabose, the suspended Forum for Democratic Change FDC party candidate in the recent elections for Kasese municipality MP race, has quit the party. Ntabose, who is also former Kasese district vice chairperson, announced that he has joined the National Resistance Movement party. His defection came after the FDC Secretary General Nathan Nandala Mafabi issued a letter suspending him from being behind strings of unexplained and uncoordinated activities and a total disregard of the party position, both at the local and national levels. Tabose described the FDC's decision as a personal witch hunt, arguing that a number of members, including the FDC vice chairperson from Western Region, William Nzogu, campaigned for independent candidates contrary to the party's constitution. He says these members have never been summoned to that effect.
Think if there are people who have participated or engaged themselves in hostile activities that are against Article 12 of the Constitution of the party, the people that were supposed to be summoned and even questioned first were the likes of Honorable Nzou, who has been the party's vice president in charge of Western Region. We have a number of candidates who went ahead and participated as independent candidates against the constitution of the party. These people up to now have never been summoned in any meeting. They have not written to them any letter to this effect.
Saulo Mate, the Kasese FDC party chairperson, says that the district party leadership will abide by the decision of the Secretary General.
International news.
A Kenyan police officer has shot dead his wife and 5 other people and then killed himself in Kabete Town Council outside the capital of Nairobi. Police Constable Benson Mbasi is said to have asked his wife to close her shop, and the couple went home where the neighbors heard shots being fired in the early hours of Tuesday this morning. He also then walked out of his home and shot 7 other people. 5 of them died and 2 are being treated at the National Referral Hospital. The police officer then shot himself in the neck and died on spot. The Directorate of Criminal Investigation says that the rogue police officer had been wielding an AK-47 assault rifle. It is said that 3 men and a motorcycle rider at a local market were among those that were killed by the police officer. And that's how we end this bulletin. I am Pamela. Good morning.
Hot on the Heels. Agagwina War was sponsored by Get MTN Central Points when you deposit, send or withdraw MTN mobile money and use the points to pay